And we are live.
Hello, I am Otto Dassing. You are listening to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode number 328. Tonight, I'm joined by Jared Schneiderman.
Hey, guys.
Nicholas Pacone.
Word.
And James Babb.
Hello.
What's going on, everybody? How was everyone's Thanksgiving?
It was pleasant.
I made sure to break as many laws as I could.
Yeah.
Wasn't
How many
hard.
rapes did you commit?
Well, I want to commit none of those. Just one of the ones that violate state mandates. Those are the ones to break.
We had a bar up here had to violate the governor's decree to stop selling on premises booze after 5 p.m. Thanksgiving Eve. Like they just uttered some kind of command and expected like bars to stop selling booze at 5. So luckily some disregarded this. So it was still a fun evening.
I happily drove through Pennsylvania to visit my sister and looked at all of those signs that said you must quarantine for 2 weeks and said, no, I'm not going to be doing that.
Well, that quarantine doesn't apply if you're commuting.
No, it does. So. It does. Yeah. It's good. What's it? Yeah. If you're longer than 2 hours of driving in the state and you're.
I was told there's an exemption for commuters.
Exemption.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
COVID only affects those that are like don't really need to be coming through. But if you're like a commuter and you really need to be there, it's fine.
I was just going to tell him I got lost if I had to. But
speaking of which, do you have any updates, James, on your rumblings with the Planet Fitness folk?
Oh, I lost. That's just I'm kicked out of Planet Fitness. I mean, they've been nice about it and all, but they tried to tell me my medical exemption doesn't apply anymore. Like they can't do medical exemptions anymore. And then I said, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I said, "Can you we got new orders from the governor," and they printed it out, and then it still had the exemption in it, and then they're just like. So anyway, it's basically their policy, not the governor's policy, but whatever they want to require. It's disappointing, but what are you going to do? My other front that I'm working on right now is United States of America versus James C. Babb. My court date was postponed. It was going to be last week, and now they postponed it, I guess because of COVID or whatever, until January. So this was from illegal parking in Valley Forge National Park early in the lockdown. So
oh geez.
Oh wow.
We'll see.
What are you fighting a ticket?
Yeah, I got some parking tickets for parking in the parking lot while they had closed it. Like it's a perfectly good parking lot. I didn't see any reason not to park there.
Wait a minute, James. That doesn't make any sense. Like that's public property. You own that property.
We all own it. It's a national park.
Exactly. That's all of ours.
We all own that, don't we? Just like we all, Your Honor. Just like we all own this courtroom, and just like how you work for me. Yeah.
You could have called. You could have called me, and I would have gave you the big thumbs up. Yeah, dude, it's okay to stay there. Like whatever. You could have called any of us.
He calls all four of us, and we have a vote, and that's democracy.
Yeah, and then we pay some boys to enforce our ideas. Really good,
Yeah.
But anyway, man. I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's 6th and Market in Philly. There's the federal courthouse, and my only other experiences I've had there have all been very unpleasant. From Larkin Rose's trial like a decade ago to jury nullification there with Julian Heichland, where they like stormed out like ready to like really pounce on us before we kind of had them broken in. They're just a nasty bunch in there. They're just nasty, horrible. It's like that. It's like a Milgram experiment that's just been running that like somebody let run for like decades. It's like, I mean, a Stanley prison experiment that's been running for decades unchecked.
And apparently James likes the rough stuff that he's going to go back willingly.
Well, I feel like it's going to be pretty safe. I mean, I've only got like $160 in fines, although just being in that close proximity to so many authority figures, could put you in jail or kill you. Just so yeah, don't really seek that out, but I think it'll be okay. And I'm gonna try to have some fun with it. See how long I can just maybe how many questions I can get in before they call the bailiff to see me out. I don't know.
Sounds like a fun weekend.
I mean, that's as close as I feel like you're going to get to justice in that place. Just
waste their time.
Get a couple wisecracks in before they drag you out.
So wait, what? Sorry, which courtroom is this again? Or what's
Federal.
the location? Or
it's 6th and Market in Philly, the federal courthouse.
Okay, so that's near you then.
Yeah,
pretty close.
Yeah,
it's not too bad. All right, well, keep us
Sorry.
updated.
Yeah, I was just actually being able to share this podcast in a bunch of groups. I haven't been able to do that. I've been on restrictions from Complex. What was it? Yeah,
Complex
Saturday.
Interactions.
Complex Entity Interactions.
Yep, Complex Entity Interactions. Yes.
I'm
so complex, Otto.
Are you now simple? Are you a simple entity at this point?
I guess so. I can now continue to share in groups and comment on pages now. 802 was it broke the dam last night.
Do you feel free now?
I do.
Wow. That's what true liberty is.
Let's get to work on the next banning, right? I mean,
yeah, right.
So what's the taboo topic? Like,
I'm already there.
Where's the next meme?
Naturally, are you questioning the legitimacy of the election and the electoral process?
So this actually reminds me. I don't often see things like this, but we actually had something that redacted in the Anarchy Bar group that Josh McHose posted, like a comment.
Right.
It was a picture of Squidward, and that was pretty much it. Was there even a political undertone to it? It was nothing.
There was
a picture of what?
Squidward.
What is that?
From SpongeBob.
Yeah, the octopus in SpongeBob.
I sent it to him. I was like, "Dude, do you know what just happened to you?"
Wait, what happened? It just got redacted?
Yeah, Facebook just it gave you the rigmarole, like, "Hey, more of this happens. Like, we may delete the group."
Okay, it was. You gotta warn. I'm reading.
Wait,
it
was
now.
it a copyright violation? I mean, what do we?
No, I'll tell you. It says Josh McCo's comment goes against our community standards on regulated goods. And the meme is just a picture of Squidward working behind the counter. It says, "When someone slides into my DM to chat," and underneath it says, "We post memes here, sir." And it was just a funny meme. But he got banned for that. He actually got banned for that.
It sounds like we're jumping on to the copyright stuff in conjunction with Europe's rules now.
Yeah.
Because memes are illegal in Europe.
Right.
And like you can pay some serious fines for using like copyrighted material in your stuff.
Well, it gives them another reason to just like stop some more wrong thing from that jam Josh McHose again, always out there with his memes. We've got to do something.
It was just so weird. It's like nothing ever happens in that group. I never see anything, and all of a sudden I see the most innocuous meme ever gets canned. You're just like, why this? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of wild, man. I'm surprised they hadn't already started doing that. I always wondered how like all these memes get away with just flaunting the the authoritarian copyright laws.
Oh no, because in the U.S. we have every right to do it. It's legit, becomes legit criticism and commentary. And we have every legal right in the U.S. to do it. It's fair use doctrine. They do not have that in Europe, and that's part of the problem. Is that because our internet and their internet connect, and if they use one of our websites and our websites over here break the law, like then we're technically breaking law over in Europe. And that's why you've had a lot of compliancy issues that everyone's trying to get in line with.
Gotcha.
And
so it's like black market for memes in Europe. Like that's are there underground like meme sharing networks? I mean,
they're printed out like on paper.
You joke, but there has to be.
God.
What
if historians point to this point in time in history where like Europe and North America diverged in like culturally, because North America had access to memes and Europe didn't. And
guns, memes,
history took a different path, as a result.
Well,
like Europe just plunged deeper into darkness and misery, and where we end up like somehow like getting through all of this crap and survive.
Yeah.
Well, but that would mean that we weren't Europe already. Like
not
Just
quite there yet.
just to quote Richard Grove, we are England's property manager. That's all.
Right, and plus, and as if they can take down Josh McHoe's meme, right? They can take down any meme. You know, like I think we've established that.
Pretty much.
Oh God, yeah, but it was really dumb, and I think it might just been an algorithm. Honestly, I just think it was just they picked up on some type of phrase or code or something, and
It was probably
they
used
didn't
in
like
some
it.
COVID meme or something, and it kind of looks similar.
I
Like
think
it
it
had just the same amount of words and
or the wrong color. It could be like or like social media, like social credit score, like they do in China. I think maybe these credit scores, you know, maybe Facebook already has something similar. Like you have a score, you know, like you every time you get a warning or like how cooperative you are, or obedient, like how short of it determines how long your leash is, right?
Obviously, they keep records on it because they know how often you've done it enough to know where you are at on that.
Right.
So
And if you reach a
clearly
certain
exists.
threshold, it might be like, okay, give him level 3 bot attention, and a certain bot will then monitor you more, right? Or like this person is, you know, we've confirmed their phone number and they're posting pro Biden memes, or, you know, they're pro
they're on the safe
vaccine.
list.
So what they're definitely, they're getting good, you know, they're getting a good social credit score, right? And therefore they don't need to be monitored. But between like, oh, Punk Rock Libertarian Podcast minus 50 just for hanging around anywhere near that, right? Josh
know,
McHoe's, you know, he brings a negative 100 just for being friends with him. So
you once met James Babb.
minus 500. You know?
You're
Your
redeemable.
GPS coordinates were the same as James Babb. Instant ban. Oh man. All
Well,
right.
that's the way we're headed, man. But so we got a few things to talk about tonight. Starting with, apparently, I think Nick, I think you know a little bit more than I do about this, but apparently Trump is winning some of these lawsuits about getting some of these votes.
I don't want to make the perception that he's winning. The big thing is that we've been hearing since day one is there's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's whole nothing burger. There's no evidence. However, that's not entirely true. I know part of the problem share this is why only reason I know about it, but they are there are actually cases, I believe this particular one was in Pennsylvania, where the input irregularities were the guy who testified in court for it said that these show clear I can't remember the specific phrasing he used, but basically this shows definitely something we would have to check for tampering, because it's something that would throw red flags immediately. And it was specifically a spike or spikes in the number of ballots input in a given time frame. So like you got like a flat curve kind of doing its thing like this, and all of a sudden it jumps like this. And in those jumps, you have just massive, insanely one-sided input towards Biden. And I think it was in this particular instance, it was in the case of like a couple 100,000 votes, not like a couple thousand, like actual huge numbers that could sway elections, which means that there's more to the case that can actually be followed through on. That's all kind of whatever. That we all know that there's stuff that looks fishy. Even the left can't deny there's fishy looking stuff, whether they can prove it's the thing. The thing here is that the videos for that you can't find. They're blocked by all of the major, search engines and things like that. You have to really, really get specific with keywords or know someone that could happen to share it on their Twitter feed that you could find it. And that's what's real. Like,
yeah. I'm also getting still getting Facebook like top level like Facebook ads that are like reassuring me that understanding the election they're called, and they're reassuring me that it's time for the transition to officially take place, and that this has all been good and everything's normal, and like they're really concerned about like it's all good. Don't stop questioning it. They're really invested in that narrative.
Yeah, that's what makes you just speculate that there's something going on, right?
Exactly. Like what? Who cares? Like you're just like, you're basically like MySpace. Okay. Just shut up and let us post memes. Like
it's like someone that insists to their significant other that they're not cheating, right? They're like, oh, I was definitely at the bar with Jacob that night. No.
Thou doth protesteth too much.
Yes.
So what's up with these lawsuits? Are any of them getting actual traction, or is it? I just thought it might just be for show to keep the bases fundraising going, to milk them, to just, I don't know, like.
That's probably part of it.
That's the thing. It's kind of a grab bag. If you were to watch the news, they'll tell you that they're all falling through. But this was an example of where something had come through where they kind of had to follow it. They have to go down that rabbit trail now, and I don't know where that'll be, but. It's that dichotomy of, well, this is what you're being told, and this is what, like, if you're to watch CNN, this is all bullshit, and every single one of them is being swatted down at the state level and nothing. But I think this was an instance where someone in Pennsylvania actually refused to, like, they can no longer certify the election because.
Well, I think there was a group of Republicans that like are using the legislature to uncertify, or to ask for the results to be uncertified. I did hear something about that. To me, that's just all politics and, and grandstanding
There was another one I saw where like the guy was, I don't know what there is to this. Somebody posted about, basically they used a Sharpie color that couldn't be read in the machine. And so they were
giving out like Sharpies, like actual Sharpies at some of these polling centers.
That's not the problem. The problem is that they were also giving out stacks of blank ballots to be refilled out with no monitoring because the Sharpies wouldn't read in the machine, so they had to transfer them over to new ballots.
Well, listen,
I do have transferred those. There's probably nothing fishy that happened there.
I do have some sympathy for the Biden team on this, because you got to understand how tough their job is. Okay, because they need to rig the election, but not by too much. But you don't know what the results are until the last minute.
Exactly.
So it's really hard to insert just the right amount of fraud without going crazy, right? Because the more fraud you do, the harder it is to pull, to get away with it, right?
You can't make it be too obvious.
Yeah.
So
it's like when you cheat in high school.
You want to squeak it. You want to squeak it out by just a little comfortable margin, and then everybody's happy.
Although the 80,000 ballots overnight, that was a little. They might have accidentally went a little too hard on that.
Well,
they probably underestimated the amount of fraud that was going to be required, and then they had to go to like one of the backup strategies, right?
Well, the thing that they really needed to focus on was that this was that this was a referendum vote on people's right to vote and the number of people that don't get to vote in normal elections. That should have been what they've been harping on since the beginning of it. Is, look, this is just goes to show you that our country is illegitimate because all of these people that normally would voted who just can't deal with our horrible voting laws and actually getting to the polls. If we made voting easier, they'd all do it.
Here's the spoiler, though: it's not legitimate no matter who votes.
Well,
and,
obviously, but that's what they should have been harping on. Like that's what they've utilized.
So wait, what was the turnout again? Was it actually like a record turnout? Is what they claim?
I saw one sheet, and this was from the lawsuit that was filed, and someone took a screenshot. One of my friends, like personally, I know in real life, he took a screenshot of it and he posted it on Facebook. And yeah, I know I don't have mine, but you guys are my friends. But and so he posted it, and it said like in one county they had like 874% turnout.
Yeah.
It's like the most absurd thing ever.
They really did a good job with those campaigns. I mean, that's what remember all those Facebook ads? It said time to register. Like,
Bill, if you vote hard enough, your vote counts for twice.
I know.
Well, I'm sorry, but twice doesn't get you 800%.
It counts for 8, apparently.
I just want to know where the Russians were this time. Like what happened to Russian meddling?
Well, and that's the thing for me. Like, I honestly believe that because of the way the elections took hold, it is very, very easy to believe that all of those people that could vote for 3 months were stewing about Trump that would have voted for Biden. Like, all of the early voting would almost undoubtedly have been for Biden. Like, I can see that. My big issue is that, well, they got to fuck up his presidency for 3 years. Why doesn't he get to fuck up their presidency for 3 years now? That's all I want.
like tit for
That's all I want.
tat.
You know,
Fight.
you
Fight.
guys.
Fight.
And all of a sudden, we're in 6th grade again.
Right.
Was
I love
Trump
it when,
a bully?
when people are out there challenging the legitimacy of the process. That's where we need them to be. You know, will they come to the right conclusion? Probably not. They're just going to make sure that their guys cheat harder next time, right?
Let's just keep them from doing anything, though. That's the real key. Stop the Great Reset.
I don't know. At least they're going to have to spend energy against each other that could be spent against us. So,
well, I heard that. So I was listening to a podcast with Scott Horton. Scott Horton had one of the guys from Reason on, and the guy from Reason was saying that there's just no evidence. Trump goes to these courtrooms, he provides no evidence of any type of wrongdoing, and it's zero evidence provided. And he said, and like, so he was even making the claim. This guy from Reason was saying that, you know, Trump's accusing in Pennsylvania that they stopped counting overnight, and all of a sudden these votes just came in, and there's no proof of that. But I remember during election night, I was watching it like as it unfolded, and they straight up said, like, this was like CBS News was like, well, we're being told that they're done counting for the night, and there won't be any more counting until tomorrow. And it stayed at 64% reporting until the next day.
Well, isn't that what that whole picture we keep seeing with the graph where it goes up and then it shoots up? Isn't that what that is supposed to represent?
Yes.
So how is that? How is that even like contested?
Well, this guy was telling Scott.
Well, he's from fucking Reason. That's why, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you calling him a Beltway libertarian? Is that the problem?
Look, I just want to peel Camille Foster away from the 5th column and have him start his own thing. I love Camille.
I love Camille. Yeah.
I can't stand Matt and Moynihan. Just start your own, Camille, please.
Yeah, Camille's great.
Yeah. Oh, so randomly talking about podcasts, but Glenn Greenwald was on Michael Malice podcast
awesome.
this week too. It was really cool.
I'd like to hear that.
Oh, it was really good. It was really good. And I follow him, and you see a lot of people commenting on it, like he's gone off the deep end, and he's just spreading, right-wing lies and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this guy, the gay guy from he lives in Brazil with his husband, whose husband's on the Socialist Party in Venezuela.
Right, but he's like a champion of journalism and free speech and supported whistleblowers.
Well, and that's
he dared to question the Biden narrative, and this is what happens.
But these are like left liberals that were commenting on here, like the AOC types, essentially that were like,
they're not real. These are what when you criticize leftists, like these are the ones that I think are kind of like fake leftists. Like they're not the real, like, all right, anti-war, those kinds. They're like,
I maintain that I'm a leftist.
Yeah. Like they're not like, these are like liberals. These are like, just like, just
you say so there. They're progressives.
Progressives.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't have that word.
But man, it's just so funny. It's like, as soon as you just take one side, it's not even that. It's when you don't agree 100% with their narrative. Doesn't matter. You're wrong. You're the devil. You're Russian influence. You're right-wing lies.
It's even
fake
more
news.
It's even more than that, because in Glenn Greenwald's case, the reason he's kind of having his whole moment right now is because he quit the organization he founded exists solely to call into question, integrity within journalism. That's what the
Intercept.
The Intercept was created to do, and he's a founder, and he left. And the reason he left is it wasn't because of the article that he wrote and its content, because he'd written stuff similar to that in the past. The issue was the timing. They refused to do it at a very particular time because at that moment it wouldn't have been good for Biden. It was too close to the election to run something like that. It was too critical at the wrong moment.
Plus, they pressured him to not publish it in other publications as well. And not just saying it's not saying the information's incorrect. It's not saying that just, we don't want to publish it. It's saying that this information can't get out there because of our political agenda. It's sad.
So he moved over to Substack and is doing his thing. The thing that I find the most interesting in the conversation with him is that because he points out something that's happening that the mainstream media is definitely trying to pretend doesn't, or the corporate media, as Malice would put it. Tim Pool is one of the most trusted people in journalism right now. They're internet personalities that people genuinely go to. And the only thing that I don't have Tim Pool's politics, but I'll watch Tim Pool and I'll believe what Tim Pool has to say. Only on one thing. I trust him. He has never once given me reason to think that he's lying to me about it.
He doesn't seem to have a particular agenda. He certainly has politics, but he doesn't have...
He takes journalism seriously. That's the point.
He doesn't have something that he's driving at specifically. It's just he's taking in whatever he's getting. He's filtering it. Obviously, we all filter everything that we get through a certain lens, but, you know...
And he'll be open about what that is.
Right, yeah.
He's not attacking other people for their beliefs. He says what he feels when he feels something. But the fact of the matter is that he's trusted. Nobody in the corporate media can make that claim anymore. That's why the Glenn Greenwalds of the world are going to be the guys on top, because ultimately people are fed up with it. I mean, look at Tim Pool's empire, dude. 4 years ago, who is he? He's a guy who used to just got famous as a videographer during the the Occupy movement. And now he's got a podcast. He's got millions of subscribers. Like,
yeah,
he's
right on.
He's the next Rogan with a compound. So, and all because all he has to do is be honest and put off authenticity. You wouldn't think that even making people think you're authentic would be such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, true.
But him and Glenn do it well. So,
yeah.
Going back to the Trump thing, I just feel like at this point, you have all of the media, everything's all against you. The courts, the same courts, who let all this stuff go, through about your, spying on your campaign. They're all against you. I don't know. I think at this point, Trump doesn't stand a chance. There's just no chance that he wins this thing out. And I just wish he would spend more time taking this until January, just pardoning everyone that would piss off all the deep state.
Well, he's only pardoned what? Michael Flynn?
Mike Flynn, yeah. And
how about Ross Ulbricht? Pardon Ross Ulbricht and stick it to Charles Schumer, stick it to the deep state, stick it to the media, stick it to all of those bastards, and it's the right thing to do.
Sadly,
that's what Thomas Massey said. Thomas Massey said that.
Sadly, Ross is not the one that is ever spoken about. Ross is like number 4 down the list.
Yeah, they talk about Snowden and then Assange
and then Manning.
About Ross.
Manning.
Yep.
Those are the 3 that you hear about,
and they all deserve super attention as well. But come on, I don't. I think, all of those guys would be a great little Christmas present for the deep state. Like that whole group, right? And who knows how many others too? How about another 20 or 30 people we've never heard of that need it? Just do it.
Yeah, what's stopping you, man?
Maybe Trump's listening to the show. We don't know. We
know Roger Stone is listening. Roger Stone is
literally
listening.
said, "I'm listening."
Roger
we
Stone,
have that
please put that in let Trump know that this is his moment to really stick it to those bastards.
Roger Stone.
God bless Roger Stone.
Dude, he'd be great to have on that.
I reached out to him. Fuck it. I'll just reach out to him again. You can send a message like, "Yo,
he's
come
out
on."
of jail now, right?
Yeah, he's out of jail. So
he was just. Somebody, one of my Facebook friends just posted a picture with him. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Didn't Tom Woods have him on like a year or two ago?
I don't know, but he was in jail for his time. I think he got pardoned recently.
Well, it was before he went to jail, I believe.
What did he go to jail for?
Lying to the FBI or whatever.
Something
like kind of like Martha Stewart kind of thing.
Yeah,
that was insider trading, but yeah.
No. Martha Stewart actually went away for lying. It was not insider trading.
Really?
What she did was completely legal, but they reported as being insider trading. What she went away for was misremembering a detail. It's almost always.
She did. She said, "I'm innocent." Oh, sorry. We're calling that a lie.
It's like Facebook puts a banner over her face, like, and see why. Click here and see why. This is false news.
Well, you saw Tom Woods. You guys talked about it last week or not? His COVID video got taken down finally by YouTube. With millions of views,
which was absurd.
The COVID cult or whatever it is?
Yeah. The COVID cult
Facebook actually went through and fact checked his entire thing.
Everything. And like,
it was so stupid.
It was so pathetic how they fact checked it. He was like, yeah, I'm using an estimate of how this amount of people were like through the lockdowns, through the death due to lockdowns. And they said, well, these numbers aren't in yet. So we prove that's false. Well, he said, yeah, but it's called an estimate. These are like, I have citations and notes where these are estimations.
So like one of the first.
What was the argument of the video?
He was just going through like the narratives, the usual narratives you hear about COVID from the corporate media, just about like certain numbers and stuff like that, about mask mandates and lockdowns, and where like they appear on these graphs and stuff. And everything he has is cited. Like he cited everything, and not just like some crazy stuff. He used like, the WHO.
Yeah, no, it's all mainstream sources. He did what he needed to do. So he's like, I've never been fact checked in my life. He's like, I'm meticulous about how crazy I fact check everything, but the thing is that they don't ever really go through anything. What you get is all the partially false stuff. And my favorite one was, well, scientists disagree with this account.
Right. Yeah.
Well, what about these scientists that I just cited that disagree with them? Why do we have to favor your scientists as opposed to my scientists?
Shut up.
Yeah, like it was that was one of the rebuttals. We
right.
trust these scientists.
Some other people have a different opinion, therefore you're wrong. I mean,
exactly. It's exactly. It's a perfect way to sum it up. That is exactly it.
Some people think different. Still up somewhere.
BitChute. It's on a BitChute.
Yeah.
How about Andrew Cuomo getting a Emmy Award for masterful COVID-19 briefings?
What?
What? You didn't hear that?
Oh my god, dude!
Now tell me, I forgot about that.
Governor Meatball.
Wow, like tell me that like the media and the government aren't like in lockstep, with the technocratic elite. I mean, oh my god!
Look, I'm just saying he gives my people a bad name.
And which are your people?
Dagos.
I was going to say like Emmy Award winners, like.
Okay, I've got one IMDb credit. I did a score to a film once, so I have a credit. But
shit,
thing.
Dude, whoa!
You did a what? A Squirtle film?
We got a famous guy here.
I did a score to a movie one of my buddies did in college called Sweet Mint. So I have an IMDb credit for music.
Nice.
Is an Emmy a prestigious award for a politician?
It's not one they usually get. That's what's real funny about it. That's a prestigious award for an actor.
Politicians have gotten it.
I guess if you
Ronald
consider
Reagan.
them actors.
I think it's time we just recognize that Hollywood and the government are basically one big show. Like just a continuum of actors and bullshit and scripts and.
I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that.
Pedophilia and everything else.
I think this kind of started with when Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize. Was it before he even took office? Was that when he got the Nobel Peace Prize?
It was. It was pre. He had already dropped a lot of bombs before he got that.
I think they were lining it up. They're like, yeah, this is going to be good. And then he was like, but he just kept bombing. And
so you just see like the absurdity of things like, wow. So this guy who's on TV, it's like we give it away for people acting who aren't telling the truth. They're just portraying a story, a narrative. We're going to give him an award.
just to be clear, technically Obama didn't win the actual Nobel Prize because that's something different. It's completely different people.
The Nobel Peace Prize.
The Nobel Peace Prize.
Which is done by a different organization.
It is? I didn't know that. I thought it was the same group, same award.
No. That's what they want you to think. Look into the history of it. It's weird.
We should start our own
it's a completely meaningless thing.
Our own Nobel Libertarian Prize. Like it's a special
We'll just use the word noble. Yeah,
just
Oh man.
Or how about the Nobel Warmonger Prize and we just hand it out to politicians?
I mean, they already did that with Obama. How would we even delineate that? We don't have enough prizes to hand out. We can't manufacture those.
But we gotta figure it out.
We just start mailing.
I think what we could do is we could put together a panel of experts of all the weapons manufacturers, and they could nominate their favorites. Like
just Boeing reps and Northrop.
Well, no, remember they're all women now. We can't do that.
Oh, that's right.
You remember that article?
Yeah.
what was it? I heard Biden announced that all his communications people are women now, or something like that.
Well, so that was something like that was astounding me. Is that at no
The
point?
wordiest communications ever.
No, they literally went through every single position he was in, and not one did they give a single credential for anybody. They literally just listed them off by race and gender.
Yeah,
That's the only thing anybody gives a shit about.
Naturally. What a great way to avoid like all the warmongering, all their history of warmongering, all the like let's bomb Syria, all the like let's bomb Iran, like let's talk about, oh well, you know what, they look like America. Oh, this is one. Let's join hands and celebrate. I mean,
few things are as terrifying to me as a parent that homeschools is thinking that Joe Biden's wife is going to be anywhere near the office, because she's an avowed like school teacher with her hands in a lot of dirty pies.
Ooh, that's probably why Joe was interested in her, like access to the bunch of kids he might be able to.
I didn't say it.
Oh boy!
Luckily, it's a comedy show, so fact
sure,
check
all,
that.
It's all jokes.
Nothing said here is real or valid.
No.
I'm mentally damaged. I can't make real statements.
Well,
Mentally damaged.
I mean, right? Who knows what she could do to the poor kids in government school, right? With more federal mandates to make it even worse.
The problem is I don't want them mandating kids into those horrible dens of.
Well, you know what? Runaway kids. You know, just go away. You know, like just whatever you have to do to avoid that crap, just do it.
Right. Yeah. That's it's funny because the school district where I live in right now, they had to cancel schools for it's Baltimore County schools. They had to cancel it because they're being threatened by hackers. They have ransomware, and the FBI is involved. They're trying to figure it out. So essentially, they're going to have to.
Well, apparently it was one of those ransom everything for Bitcoin, but it didn't actually work. Like they got into the system, but they weren't able to actually encrypt anything. But they're still shutting everything down so they can figure out how the hell they got in.
So stupid.
Which is probably
hilarious.
So mission accomplished. Good job, kids.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it takes.
I hope it's actually one of the kids
I hope it
too.
was a student. Yeah.
They're entitled to their freedom by stratagem or force, whatever it takes. They're entitled to their freedom. And I think hacking the school board is an excellent example for other youths.
Utes.
Well, speaking of that, Biden also said when he comes in. Well, it's already
when he comes
so
in.
Funny.
What?
He's
apparently your children.
Yeah. Woo! All right, that's spicy. No, but, okay. So he announced. It's funny because he keeps on like issuing these dictates from the office of the president-elect, which I find so bizarre. And but he said one of the first
which
things
isn't a real office.
I know, it's just completely made up.
So what? It's all made up. It's
well,
like the Oval Office is made up.
But it's like another level of made up shit.
It's like somebody saying like Kwanzaa is a made up holiday. Yeah, they're all made up. You know, like.
Oh man! But so it's also one of the first things he's going to do is end or forgive student loans. I think up to like 10,000 student loans or something like that. I just saw it right before.
Did you say up to 10,000?
You said up to 10,000. That's like nothing, dude.
Yeah, that's like you're not even like
that's not even a semester
the first
at a
deal.
state school.
Let me get the docs on this.
This is gonna benefit the banks. Let me guess. I don't know how the real student loan thing works, and I know the government has a lot of student loan debt already. But I bet you banks also have student loans.
It'll probably be loans that just have pretty much gone delinquent.
Okay, so you haven't done much into the Great Reset then yet, Bat.
The Great Reset. Well, tell us about it.
Okay, so this actually
set it up.
Okay, so here's the big vision goal of the Great Reset is that there will be no more private property. You will rent everything essentially, and so the trade-off with the education, your education will be for free, is that. Basically the banks get to own everything and we all just rent from the banks. So the idea of there's no private property is just kind of laughable. It all becomes, moved into a particular small sect of the population.
Right.
But the idea is that
fewer people have all the private property.
They're going to consolidate who the ownership is, and obviously we know who the ownership will go to. But that's like that's the trade-off. I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Right before you continue with that thought, let me cut in. Okay, so I'm reading the article now. It says Biden has said he would tackle loan forgiveness for public servants by providing $10,000 of student debt relief for every year of service up to 5 years.
Oh my God! Wait, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. It's just for people that commit to state service.
That includes working in a school for the government or in a non-profit setting. Student borrowers would be automatically enrolled according to his plan.
They already do
and
shit like that.
Previous national or community service would also
they already do shit like that on the state
qualify.
level.
Well,
they already do shit like that on the state level. This is just doing that on the federal level.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to need these workers for the mandatory vaccine distribution, right? I mean,
but as we pointed out,
the Pentagon can't do it all, right?
Vaccine kill squads.
Yeah.
Vaccine death squads.
Look, they're not vaccine kill squads. They're vaccine
life squads.
No, they're
sterilization squads is what they are.
Sterilization squad.
They don't kill you. They just make sure you can't make more people. Which I don't know why I care at that point. I can't make more people anyways.
Oh,
I plan to adopt.
I
don't really want the one I had, so figured
we could always clone you, Nick.
The IUD didn't work, so this was the next best option.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you plug up yours with an IUD or whatever?
No, I got my snip
with an IED.
Oh, okay. With an IED, yeah.
Might have worked better.
It was one hell of a surgery.
Well, here, I just thought that years of drinking Mountain Dew and Yellow Dye number 5 were gonna keep me sterile. I was wrong.
Remember that? Yeah. Remember that 1990s lie we were
fake
told?
news shit.
God
damn, Trump's fighting against.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I keep laughing at all these people talking about the Great Reset fucking conspiracy, and I'm like, dude, they have a podcast. It's not a conspiracy when they have a podcast.
So the reality is this going to be reality? I thought he was looking to Congress for some kind of loan thing, not executive order. So is it going to be executive order, or is this going to be a congressional thing?
It's executive. From the way it sounds, it's executive order, because he said it's going to happen immediately. So it's like as soon as he takes over.
Well, he doesn't have to do anything because it's the education system. The Department of Education is directly under him, isn't it? He has to to sign it. Say that's what it is. Congress can worry about paying for it or not, but he doesn't have to worry about that.
They can always print more. Just keep
it
going.
And the debt and the Fed will monetize it, so it's keep on going, man.
Well, it's probably going to resonate well with all the cancel student debt crowd, right? They're all totally into that. Although I have noticed an interesting pushback against that cancel student debt. They're like people pushing back from the left, calling it a exploitation of the poor to benefit the rich. Subsidizing these college graduates on the backs of uneducated poor people. I don't think that's the narrative they really want circulating, though.
No, but if you're smart, that's what's happening.
It's like, make them pay for my thing.
Although, let's be honest, that $50,000 max that you can make out of it is going to cover 1 year of your probably 6 that you spent in college.
Yeah, so. But right, and then in 5 years, that 1 year will cost $100,000. Right. Like,
right. Yeah.
Like, we've been subsidizing our way into this ridiculous price inflation in education for so long. What's this going to do? It's just basically they're going to have to it'll have to be free.
Well,
it'll be like, look, free education with your national service. Like, oh, you want the education, you come, you get, we'll assign you your work camp. You'll go to a work camp.
The FEMA camps, where all of us who refuse to get the vaccine will be.
You'll be at FEMA camp Legion 325.
But you know what? They could, the way they think, though, they'll be like, oh, we're going to do great works like the New Deal. We're going to carve mountains. We're going to build trails, and we're going to create national parks, and we're gonna, it's gonna be solar panels and unicorns, and
you know what the worst part about that is that if we just let the economy do it, the economy's going to inevitably end up doing. That is what we will end up doing. Like eventually, automation is going to take over. There's going to be no manual labor jobs. At which point, all jobs will become creative jobs to fill up all of the free time that we all have when we're not actually working.
Yeah, we'll all have a bunch of robots doing cool stuff for us. Like we just imagine it.
Like we will all be YouTube personalities because all we have is time to fill. That is going.
I'm going to let my robot be the YouTube personality while I'm going to be out doing something more fun.
Like we'll have millions of millions of roller coaster designers out there. Who the hell knows? The point is literally the only problem to solve for humanity at that point will be how to kill time. That'll be it.
Or probably how to kill the robots after they turn against us.
There is that also.
Well, it's like goddamn Skynet.
Yeah, I had somebody, come to me with their very serious concern that, with increased technology and automated like self-driving cars, we were like riding around in his Tesla, talking about self-driving technology and how he had this legitimate fear that this was going to put truck drivers out of work.
It is.
It's going to be well. I said, imagine, imagine you're a truck driver, but now instead of driving one truck, you're able to drive 10 trucks simultaneously.
Yes.
From the comfort of your home, with the near your family, with the safety of your office, instead of so you're still, you can still be in the business, just your productivity is going to skyrocket.
Right.
But my grandfather didn't learn how to program a computer to do that. So he's going to lose his job as a truck driver, and they're going to give it to some egghead.
I think truck drivers will be the first to embrace that technology. Be like, wait, I can sit home and watch the game in my truck, because there are lots of operators in trucks. I mean, like tractor trailers that are people that own their trucks. They make money with their truck. If they could get that truck self-driving, oh my God, they'd love that.
Yeah.
Because they can jerk off and not have to worry about the cops knocking on the door while they're doing it.
That's a lack of foresight.
Well, let's think of the lot lizards, okay? We have to think of lot lizards.
Yeah. Well, that's what, now they can just look at porn, dude.
Now they can just come over to my place and
now they can just fuck their wives.
To have robot lot lizards.
Let me be
robot truck.
Yeah.
Why is Phil not over there thinking about how many families are going to stay together because the truck driving dad gets to fuck the wife instead of a lot lizard?
Right.
Man.
Yeah, me. I've been doing this for 14
I don't know,
years
dude.
now.
Andrew Yang says I got to secure the bag. What am I gonna do?
Marry a Rothschild.
That's what I did.
or you can marry a Shriver, right?
A Shriver. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Is it Illuminati?
You guys not all up into your
conspiracy theories?
Yeah. Well,
no, Alex has not been on the show in forever. Okay.
Alex, come back.
Alex,
Lexi, we need you.
Well, I went over his place for Friendsgiving, and we were talking about 5G conspiracy theories as over his fire. He had a little backyard fire, and we were just chilling out there. And the police helicopters were flying over with their with their lights, their big like spotlights. And they were just like, no, they didn't flash it on us.
Okay, just two. That's fine.
Yeah, they flashed it over, but it was like me and my wife, Alex's girlfriend, Doug, Kyle Wagner came over.
Nice.
It was pretty cool, man. It was a pretty good time actually over in the Dundalk. It was pretty fun. But yeah, I was with Alex, and immediately we started talking about 5G conspiracy theories.
Where do you guys fall on that stuff? What do you think is actually going on?
I take the more route of like, I'm worried about what the state can do with 5G more than what 5G will do to you.
Well, are we talking millimeter wave frequencies, or what frequencies are we talking about?
Some dude was on my Facebook arguing with some of my other friends about it. They were going back and forth because I just posted a stupid meme. It showed this guy with iPods on, like this, like he looks like he's gangster guy. He's got his iPods in his ear, and he's just like listen or whatever. Yeah, and it's in his ear, and he's sitting there just like scowling off into the distance, and it says what he's listening to, and it shows a picture of George Michael last Christmas. And I was like, and so I posted that, and then some guy was like, yeah, too bad the whatever radiation's coming off those iPods, and they're gonna, or what are they called? I don't know what they're called. I'm such a boomer.
Dude.
What the fuck?
There's Bluetooth
Earpods.
radiation.
Earpods? What are they called?
Earpods.
Earpods. I don't fucking know. Like, look at me. I'm such a boomer. I swear to God.
Well, people have been afraid of electricity for a long time, and radio frequencies are, often cause alarm. But then there might be legitimate concerns there. Like, not all frequencies are going to be harmless. So,
well, and moreover,
I've heard about and then it gets extra confusing because the terminology they use is so inexact. 5G, 4G, none of this means something totally different no matter where you are. It's more, these are marketing terms.
Fourth generation, fifth generation. What it actually stands for.
But if you want to actually look into it, you'd have to say, well, what frequency range are we talking about?
What
is the exposure?
Generation?
Right? Or how close are you to these energy sources? What's the frequency? And then look at studies related specifically to exposure to that kind of radio signal on cells and on humans and on, whatever.
Well, and the bottom line is it's not going to affect every person the same. Like, it's going to affect everyone a little differently. Maybe some of us just have an immunity to whatever radio frequencies are going to do to us.
Or, well, it might be the kind of thing. I mean, I remember people criticizing millimeter wave, because that's in the airport scanners, saying, oh, it damages your DNA somehow. Like, maybe it does. I don't know. Like,
I haven't seen any real solid evidence about any of that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's
check on with Michael Graves or whatever his name is.
Richard Grove. Let's get Richard Grove on and talk about it.
Tell me about the millimeters, bro.
But I mean, it is, it probably is dumb. Like, people go to sleep every night with the phone like a foot from their brain. Like, that's probably dumb. Like, the phone has so many radio frequencies in it now, and
you're not taking away my
so long, or it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, you're not taking away my nighttime sleepy device, James. That fucking thing is gonna be right by my goddamn head until I die, or it explodes.
Right. If it takes some years off our life, so be it. But
well, those are the trade-offs that I, as an adult man, can make.
Right, and then during the day, we put it in our pocket right next to our balls.
It didn't help. It did not help. I still managed to squeak one out. So
that's
everything I'm trying to get out of this goddamn thing. It's not working.
I'm just gonna say, for the record, I thought 5G meant 5 gigawatt. That's what I thought.
No, it's fifth generation.
That's just more to my point, is that it's these marketing terms are so vague. You'll get people arguing about 5G and they don't even know, they can't even say what frequency they're arguing about.
It's I mean, from what I understand, it is a short frequency, these new ones. That's why they have to have a lot more towers for them, because the towers don't travel as far. It's like high energy, short distance. And I will point out that, yes, during this whole COVID thing, there have been so many 5G towers put up. It's insane. There's no way of not noticing it.
So it's transmitting the virus. Is that what you're saying?
It's not saying that it couldn't be involved.
At my job, there was a big water tower. It's been there for years, since like the 80s. And it's always had over the years, they've always put fluoride. Up the right. I know. Don't get me started. And no,
get started.
It has the cell towers what are on top of it. Well, when they established the 5G, they had to move it off. And some guys were saying that I remember, they had to take it off because it was boiling the water.
Yeah. I was just dying. Are you sure it wasn't microwaves?
I mean, that's actually kind of stupid, but it was boiling the fucking water.
Well, microwaves boil water, and you see microwave relay towers all over the place, right? You see those sort of like horizontally pointing dish things that go from tower to tower. So those are microwaves. And if you stand near them, they'll warm you up. Like, you don't want to be there.
Note from when I'm homeless.
I was when I was hiking in this summer, I was on the top of a mountain, and I was like, part of the trail, I started seeing warning signs for electromagnetic radiation. And I'm like, what? But I had to still go that way. I'm like, oh shit.
You just run through.
But I was surrounded by these microwave relay towers that were on the top of this mountain. and had several stations. I just like hauled ass right past there and didn't linger. But I don't know. You know, there's legitimate concerns about electromagnetic radiation.
Oh no, absolutely.
That's why they make tinfoil. Wear on your head.
Faraday cages. That's what you want.
That's right.
There actually, somebody manufactures an actual line of clothing that works as a Faraday cage. It actually has the metal fibers woven into the fabric.
Shut up and take my money.
At least have some kind of a like lead cod piece that you wear. You know, just.
Is it also bulletproof? That'd be fucking badass.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, visit our new sponsor, Infowars.com.
I don't think so. It's got a layer of Kevlar and a layer of lead just for all the threats that you may encounter.
Kevlar, yeah.
I'm thinking. I think there's a group this markets to.
Apparently me now because I'm getting frightened. I'm not.
Let me talk to Richard Grove and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, let's get Richard Grove and ask him what type of tinfoil I should use for my new hat.
Like wouldn't I don't want it to cause chafing, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
you want the Costco brand tinfoil or do you want the Wegmans brand?
No, I think you got to get like Reynolds, man. Reynolds has
or
to
you want
like
Reynolds,
yeah. Unless they're in on it.
They might be, dude.
That's why they switched to aluminum. Because they know that doesn't work.
It's not really tin, is it?
Yeah, it's not really the foil you think it is. Dude,
God
tinfoil is rough. Stuff's like physically hard.
Yeah.
It really, is.
Speaking of which, should we get over to the after hours now?
Yeah, let's talk about hard stuff. There's so much we didn't get to.
Yeah.
I went out. I got to talk about so many other things.
What are some of the topics that people could look forward to for if they invested $1?
Well, there's the Supreme Court religious freedom ruling.
Boring.
There's Japan having more suicides than COVID-19 deaths.
Interesting.
There is a conversation about, do you own your dead body, or does someone?
Let's
who owns
bingo.
That?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Now that's worth $1.
That's the good
right.
one.
I guarantee. That's the money.
That's a burning question of the week. That
You can't steal that, dude.
I am stealing that because fuck them. That's a cuck podcast. Don't listen to Burning Boots. They're a bunch of cucks.
They're a bunch of.
We own that now. That's our segment. That's where we're having our burning question on our after hours. How about that? So if you guys want to listen to that, you want to listen to us steal other people's podcast bits, then come over to our Patreon. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month, and you get access to our after hours podcast, which we're going to record right after this one. If you guys don't want to use Patreon, you go to PRLfans.com and you'll be able to see other ways to contribute to the show. We also have
Bitcoin address.
Oh yeah, we do have the Bitcoin address.
If you've been hodling, maybe you can throw us a little bit.
Yeah, man. What is that? 16,000 now? After was it 19,000?
It hit.
It's back up. It's back up to 18.5 now.
Woo!
Are you serious? Right. It's rebubbling.
It's rebubbling. It's like that pot on your stove that you just left there for a little too long.
Like it lost power and then the heat came back on.
The heat kind of wavered a little, and now
you just sounded way too much like the teacher from Beavis and Butthead. Just like that pot on the stove that you've maybe let sit a little too long. Fly with me, lesbian eagle.
We'll go over to libertariancountry.com, buy our t-shirts, use the code PRL or PRL Podcast. That'll get you a 10.
Did he freeze
you
up?
Can use the
he
code.
Did.
What?
You froze
the code again.
Ah, damn it. You guys throw it up. All right. Well, all right. So PRL Podcast is the code for a 10% discount at libertariancountry.com. PRL Podcast. Or if you want to spend $50 or more, use the code PRL2. Tonight's episode has been brought to you by Conversations About Freedom podcast with the great Moral Bob. And I guess until next time, live free
or die.
And fuck burning boots.